Hi, I'm Dr. Celeste, the author of the 40-Day Surrender Fast, as well as the co-founder and CEO of Dr. Celeste Owens Ministries. And our ministry has been established here on earth to promote the agenda of surrender. Oh, there is no other way to really live unless you surrender. And there is also no other way to fulfill the call that God has in your life unless you surrender. So we are here again just to promote that agenda because surrender is the way to go. And surrender is the way that you are going to fulfill the magnificent call that God has on your life. So, in that vein, I'm here to make a very special announcement. I am so excited that God has called us to an annual fast of surrender this September, September 14th through October 23rd. And I'm excited about this particular surrender fast for two reasons. One is that God is establishing the surrender fast as an annual fast here on the earth from this September until Jesus comes back. So every fall season, God will have us fasting and doing the surrender fast. And I anticipate that more and more people will hear about the surrender fast, and every fall we will have more and more people joining us. But I'm glad you're joining us this fall, September 14th through October 23rd. Also, I'm excited about this particular surrender fast because the Lord is allowing us to fast at a very special time in history. When I sent out the announcement last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago, I said to you all, hey, the Lord is calling us to fast again. Let's fast this September 14th. I hope you'll join me, fast with me. And one of the surrender fasters sent back this message saying, do you not know that September 14th is the start of the Year of Jubilee? And I was like, what? No, I didn't know, but I got so excited because I'm like, God, you are amazing. And God is intentional, you all. There is not anything that he does that's by mistake, but God's hand is in everything. He's orchestrating everything. And he has orchestrated this particular time for us to fast because he knows what he's going to do. And he's going to do some amazing things through this time of fasting. So I went about studying the Year of Jubilee because I wanted to understand it more. The Year of Jubilee was meant to be celebrated every 50 years. So most of us in our lifetime will only see the Year of Jubilee once. So this is our time, you all. This is our Year of Jubilee. And the Year of Jubilee is talked about in Leviticus 25 verses 8 through 17. And I want to read a little bit of that to you right now about the Year of Jubilee. And then I also want to share with you a special word from the Lord that he's given me that you can marinate on and that you can actually start to walk out in these next days before we actually start our 40 days of surrender. So consider this your pre-fast, right? So we always pre-fast before we do 40 days. We get our hearts and our minds ready to receive from the Lord. So consider this time right now your pre-fast. So in Leviticus 25 verse 10, it says, consecrate the 50th year and proclaim liberty throughout the land to all its inhabitants. Right there, you can stop and have church right there, because God is saying that it shall be considered a year jubilee for you, and what he wants you to do in that jubilee, in this jubilee season, this jubilee time, is first consecrate the 50th year. That's just what we're doing through prayer and fasting. We're consecrating the 50th year, and then he wants you to proclaim liberty throughout the land to all its inhabitants. Wow, how will you do that? How will you proclaim liberty, a freedom to all its inhabitants? How will you be the mouthpiece of God? And how will you do his work in this land in this year of Jubilee? Well, I have the answer for you. It might not be popular, it might not be what you want to hear, but it is the answer. So last week I told you I was going to talk about three words that relate to Jubilee. They are restoration, restitution, and reconciliation. So the Lord gave me a word about reconciliation in that very verse today, about consecrating the 50th year and also about proclaiming freedom to all of its inhabitants. So the Jubilee word for today is reconciliation. How can you be about God's business? How can you be or walk out the ministry of reconciliation for the Lord in this year of Jubilee through what he's calling us to do? First of all, know that the year of Jubilee is about freeing all slaves. So the Lord is saying today through reconciliation is who is not reconciled to you, either in your family or in your friendship. Who's not reconciled to you because they are enslaved to you? in different ways. So I'm going to talk about two different ways people can be enslaved to you. One is through debt, and the other is through emotional slavery, or AKA unforgiveness. Who have we not forgiven? Either for the wrongdoings they've done to us or for the money they owe to us. So in this year of Jubilee, not only are we going to be expecting God, not only are we going to be expecting Him to free us from debt, but we're going to be about God's business and freeing other people from debt and reestablishing, or no, reconciling people not only back to us but reconciling people to God, because when they see your godly conduct, when people see you forgiving them of the debt that they have towards you, they're going to see your Father and they're going to be saved. So again, this year Jubilee is about reconciliation. Who can you be reconciled to? Who can you forgive a debt from? Or who can you forgive an emotional abuse that they had towards you, or physical abuse or sexual abuse? Who can you forgive in this Jubilee season, not because you want to, but because God is calling you to this posture of surrender? Who can you who can you sacrificially forgive in this year of Jubilee? And I promise you, when you step out in faith, believe God at His word, believe Him that you won't be damaged any further, but that you know that all of your hope lies in Him and that you're going to do what He tells you to do because you love Him. Trust me that there is no other way to be blessed by the Lord, to be pushed by the Lord, to be elevated by the Lord, is through this act of humility. And God's love language, as my friend Joyce Briscoe says, God's love language is obedience. And it says in Deuteronomy 28, if you obey the Lord your God and do all that He's telling you to do, don't turn to the left, don't turn to the right, but do what He's telling you to do, that He will overtake you with the blessing. So in this year of Jubilee, I'm asking you, God's asking you to reconcile relationships that have been damaged. Reconcile relationships by forgiving debt, and reconcile relationships by forgiving those who have hurt you. So that's your assignment in this next week, to think about, pray about, ask God, who, Lord, do you want me to release from debt? Who do you want me to release from emotional slavery? Who do you want me to forgive, oh God? Because I know as I do these things in obedience, that you are not only going to be pleased, but you are going to overtake me with blessings. You are going to restore me. You are going to put me back in right standing with you and with other people. And you are going to establish your kingdom here on earth through me. I pray that this has blessed you. I pray that you are saying yes right now to the surrender fast. I pray that you think about what the Lord has said and who you might forgive, either through financial debt or through unforgiveness, and just ask the Lord to give you the grace to do all He's calling you to do. So I'll be back next week with another word for you from the Lord. But in the meantime, stay surrendered, and God bless.